What's up, YouTube? DaAverageGamer Shawn here, bringing you my review of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which was a amazing card. Just like any of the NXT TakeOver pay-per-views. I think I've seen them all. If not, I am going to go watch the rest of them, because this was one hell of a card. Mainly for one match in particular, which I am calling a match of the year in my eyes so far. The advertised card was a lot longer. If you look at the stuff, I think there was a lot of pre-show stuff, but we're just going to be talking about the main card itself. And let's get started with the WWE debut of Jooshin Thunder Liger versus Tyler Breeze to open the card. If you do not know who Jooshin Thunder Liger is, you are not a true wrestling fan. Please stop listening to this review. No, I'm just playing, but you do need to look up who Jooshin Thunder Liger is. Over 30 years in business. He is Japan's greatest exports. He's competed all over the world in IWGP. I think he was in AAA for a while. Of course, over in Europe. He's done some matches in ROH. I think he did a little bit of TNA this year. He's been everywhere. This is his first time stepping away WWE ring, where he took on Tyler Breeze in a very good opening match. Tyler Breeze is so Dolph Ziggler Jr. Hold on, let me get a sip of water. Yes, he is so Dolph Ziggler Jr. But it was such a good match. Tyler Breeze, his gimmick is what's holding him back. The pretty boy selfie stick gimmick is what's holding Tyler Breeze back from being a great light heavyweight, cruiserweight competitor and being taken seriously. He is a great talent. Like I said, he is Dolph Ziggler, just in his look, his body style, and the way he works in the ring. I'm not saying he's as good as Dolph Ziggler, but he does remind me a lot of Dolph Ziggler in the way he works. Jooshin Thunder Liger, like I said, he's a legend in the business. He always performed a great match, and this was no exception. It was very, I don't want to say it's slow paced. They're both their cruiserweight, light heavyweight division. It's just, he's older. I believe he's about 50 something years old, so he can't go as fast as Tyler Breeze. So they slowed the match down a little bit. A lot of good spots though. Jooshin Thunder Liger still has it. He has a few more years left in him before, his body just says slow it down or stop completely. But very good match. Jooshin Thunder Liger came out victorious. And I have not mentioned we are doing this in podcast form. I can talk a little bit longer without, having to worry about editing and webcams and things like this. Doing this in podcast form. And that was our first match. Tyler Breeze versus, como se dice, Jooshin Thunder Liger. Our next match, I believe, was what was the next match after this? Was it? I don't think it was them. Was it the tag title match? I think it was actually the tag team title match that was next, which was the Vaudevillains, I believe, something like that, or versus Blake and Murphy for the tag team titles. This is a great tag team match. I would say every match on this card was 3 stars and higher. If I had to do a quote unquote rating system, I really don't like doing that. I just like the adjusted match as it is. But every match on this card was higher than 3 out of 5 in my opinion. The Vaudevillains, they have like this really weird, like, have you those like Russian strongman pictures where it's like the guy with the hairy chest in like a onesie leotard type things with the weird mustaches. They're that kind of gimmick character, and it's actually entertaining to watch. Blake and Murphy are like these high energy rebel like characters. I'm just trying to give a light explainer in case it's your first time listening to a review. If you're not a real like wrestling fan and you're just listening just because it's something that I'm doing for whatever reason, but they're like these like Edge and Christian-esque, Hardy Boy-esque characters, if you know who they are, that's who they kind of remind me of a tiny bit. If I had to compare them to anybody who hasn't, who are these guys, Blake and Murphy, so I'll actually compare them to like an Edge and Christian type tag team, where Blake and Murphy are the Blake and Griffin. I realized like what I just did there. Blake and Murphy are the tag team champions coming into this match. They have a woman with them by the name of Alexa Taylor, I believe. Very pretty blonde. So I guess the storyline leading up to this match was Alexis Taylor always getting involved in Blake and Murphy's matches. Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep saying Blake Griffin. I'm going to keep saying that. Keep getting involved in B&M's matches. So Devon the Villains went out to find a person to keep her in line, and it was some chick named Blue Pants. I'm honestly not aware of who she is. I did a little bit of como se dice Googling before I did this review and during the pay-per-view, and I didn't do it on her, and my phone needs to be on silent. Let me do that real quick. Let me wipe my fingers off from that water. Oh my gosh, here we go. The phone is on silent, and let's continue this review. So Blue Pants, I don't want to Google her right during this, so whatever. She was the X Factor to keep their X Factor out the match, which really helped because in a good tag team match, Devon the Villains became our new NXT Tag Team Champions. So this leads to the third match on the card, I believe, which was it the debut of Apollo Creed? I believe it was the debut of Apollo Creed versus Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10, and I was as not Tyler Breeze. Ty Dillinger was making his way to the ring. I was saying to myself, why does he look so familiar? So I, like I said during the pay-per-view, wiki Ty Dillinger, and he was known before he got into WWE as Shawn Spears. I'm like, oh, I know who Shawn Spears is. He did a little bit of indie work. I believe he was in ROH for a minute, TNA for a hot second, but his name did sound very familiar, Shawn Spears. So I think I've seen a couple of his matches before. Of course, now that he's in WWE, he's working under the name Todd Dillinger versus Apollo Crews, who's done a little bit of indie work himself. I'm going to say this about Apollo Crews. This guy is a future WWE heavyweight champion. He has all the tools he needs. When I first saw him during his promos and things like that, leading up to his debut, he reminded me of Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley type character. But when I first saw him, I thought it was Monty Brown. I thought it was Monty Brown repackaged and things like that. Now, I actually looked, I'm like, no, this isn't Monty Brown. If you don't know who Monty Brown is, he was, I think they changed his name when he got to ECW, when they brought back ECW, the black guy who wore the leopard shorts. If you know Monty Brown, he was also in TNA for a long time, back in the early days. I thought that's who that was, but when I tell you, this guy Apollo Crews has all the tools to be a WWE champion. I don't know even who to compare him to. I want to compare him to Samoa Joe, but that's not even a fair comparison because Samoa Joe, you know what? That is a fair comparison. He's an in shape. He is a mix between Samoa Joe. No, just go watch this guy. He is super athletic, he could have been the X Division champion if he was a TNA. He could have been the X Division champion. I think that's the best way to put it. He could be an X Division champion. He has everything. He has the physical ability. He has the athletic ability to do cruiserweight stuff, heavyweight stuff. He's like a more in shape Samoa Joe. Just to be plain and simple, like if you took Bobby Lashley and gave him an AJ style moveset, you got Apollo Crews. Plain and simple. That's the best way to put it. If you took Bobby Lashley's physique, but gave him AJ Styles' moveset. That's the best way to describe him. Not even AJ Styles. Maybe more like who? Some type of high flyer. Even Adrian Neville. You know, something like that. You get Apollo Crews. The match itself was your basic big man debut match where he just kind of went in and squashed Todd Dillinger. Todd Dillinger got a few good moves in, but it was pretty much here to put over Apollo Crews for his first win. And then you get somebody else who I believe will be a future WWE champion if we're going by the Vince McMahon championship formula. Baron Corbin versus Samoa Joe. And I know you guys are thinking I'm talking about Samoa Joe being the WWE champion. I'm actually talking about Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, spoilers, he lost the match. But he has everything he needs to become a top heel champion on Raw and SmackDown. He has to look. He seems very, very, very comfortable on the mic, and his physique and presence and in-ring dominance over other stars has been amazing so far. I love everything about Baron Corbin. Samoa Joe, we all know, is a 16-year vet. He's worked all over the world. He's always champion. I believe he was an IWGP champion. I could be wrong about that. TNA champion. He's been all over the world wrestling. We all know who Samoa Joe is. Samoa submission. Joe's gonna kill you. All that good stuff. This match was a very good big man match. Ending with not even Baron Corbin tapping out. I believe Samoa Joe making him like temporarily pass out with the Coquita clutch. So that was a good match. Then we're gonna bypass the women's championship match. I have a lot to say about that match. We're gonna go into the ladder match for the NXT championship. Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. Let's go back to the Baron Corbin Samoa Joe match. I want to talk about Baron Corbin a little bit more since we're doing this on podcast format. Baron Corbin, during his little pre-match, footage, he was a part of the NFL with the Carolina team. He was a boxer. He did something else. I didn't know that. I thought that was very interesting. And then I love his character. His character itself is like he's pretty much running down people like Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, the people of the world who got to WWE because the WWE seen something in them. From being on the indie scene, doing the Ring of Honors, the TNAs, and being in Japan, things like that. Baron Corbin's whole character is, I don't care what you've done in the past, I'm still better than you, and I'm gonna prove it just by beating your ass, plain and simple. And I love that character. He's pretty much, I want to like a John Cena-esque character. And what I mean by that is he's homegrown. So you know how Cena goes up against people like I said before, CM Punk, Kevin Owens, people who Daniel Bryan, people who've worked their way up the ranks to make it to WWE. Baron Corbin is that kind of character, but like pretty much saying, I don't care where you've been, I'm here and I'm gonna beat you and become the best of best in WWE. And I love that character. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And we're going to jump into the NXT Championship ladder match. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. Prince Devitt versus Kevin Steen. This match here had so much potential to be so much better. Not saying it was a bad match at all. I'm just saying it had the potential to be so much better. According to the ring announcers, this was Finn Balor's first ladder match, which I would find hard to believe, especially working one. He's a Japan. He's one of those people that came out of Japan, and not necessarily Ring of Honor and TNA. He came out of Japan, so they are more traditional in their matches. So I guess I can see this being his first ladder match. But being his first ladder match, it was a very good match. Like I said, no match on this card sucked. That's one thing I say. No match on this card sucked. There was no such thing as a bathroom break on this card. So the match was very good. The spots were very well done. A lot of back and forth. Very, very good use of the ladders and their respective finishing moves. Because, you know, in a match like this, their finishing moves are so simple, they can be easily executed to be performed at a higher volume. Like Finn Balor's double foot stomp off the top rope. You know, he does that off the ladder. Kevin Owens pop-up powerbomb. We see how versatile he can be with that powerbomb. I need to get my words together. Let me take another sip of water. I'm running out of breath. So, the match itself, hopefully I gotta remember to cut out these long drawn out parts. The match itself was very good, very standard ladder match with a lot of innovative spots in it. At one point I really thought Kevin Owens was about to become a two-time NXT champion. Is there such thing as a two-time NXT champion? Let me look that up while I talk about this. Being a two-time NXT champion, Finn Balor performed very well. The best thing about Finn Balor is his entrance. And I hate to say that, he's more than his entrance, but I love his entrance. It's like a mix between Undertaker and Jeff Hardy. And I love that so much. Let me just type this. Is there two-time NXT champion? Because I know most. Hold on. Hello? Okay. I had to pause it because people come to the door. NXT championship, consistent, yada yada yada. I don't think. Oh, Adrian Neville, his two-time tag team champion. There were. I don't think there is a two-time NXT champion. If I am wrong, I will make an annotation about that in the video itself. But I don't think there's a two-time NXT champion. Yeah. But we're not gonna worry about that right now. The point is, Finn Balor. I was talking about Finn Balor. His entrance. Yeah, here's a list. Let's see. Adrian Neville, that was the NXT champion. Big E, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Alrighty then. So those are your NXT champions right there. Yeah, there is no double NXT champion. Well, you know what I mean. So, what I'm about to say, Finn Balor is such a good talent. I've seen him wrestle outside of WWE, like most of these people, like Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, yada yada yada. Anybody that was not original WWE talent, and Finn Balor is so good, but I just love his entrance. It's just a mix between Undertaker and Jeff Hardy. So don't think that I'm saying Finn Balor is just his entrance, because I would be lying if I said that. But his entrance is so good to his character, especially since it's not an every time thing. It's only for like pay-per-views and special appearances. So I'm glad they did it like that. And that is enough talking about this match. Very good match. Finn Balor is still your NXT heavyweight champion. Now let's get to the Divas NXT Championship match. Sasha Banks versus It's Bayley. I don't know what it. She doesn't have a first name in WWE, so just call her It's Bayley. Let's look that up. Bayley NXT. Bayley NXT. This is so unprofessional, but this is how podcast run, guys. You can just run with it. I thought it was Bayley with an I. Why? Yeah, I thought it was Bayley with a Y. I am not a Y. Bayley. Oh, Bayley with a Y. Well, squeeze me eyes. Which means I gotta go redo my tweet from earlier then. I swear I put Bayley with an I. Birth name, ring names, Devon Rose. Anyways, this match here, hands down, male match, female match, tag team match, cruiserweight match, X Division match, triple team match. I believe that's actually a thing down in not Ring of Honor, AAA. This match, in my opinion, match of the year. Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the women NXT title. This match had everything that you want in a professional wrestling match. You had your basic stuff, your heel versus the bad guy, your underdog challenger versus your snot-nosed over the top villain champion. You had a comeback story in your challenger where she was injured and fighting off that injury to come back to try to win the highest mantle in her division, which is the NXT Women's title. You've had your challenger fighting over and over to get to the point where she can compete for that title, coming so close and letting it slip through her fingers. So on her road to redemption, she fought her way back to #1 contender status by beating the people she came into this organization with, and Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and having the fourth person being Sasha Banks being the champion. When they came into this, they were the 4 women who pioneered the NXT women's division, and Bayley feels like she was left in the shadows when it comes to the other 3 women, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. So she feels like her time is now. But then you have your NXT women's champion saying she will never become women's champion. Just because these people love you doesn't mean you have what it takes to become women's champion. And then we actually get to this match. This match was a thing of beauty. A match that I'm actually going to go back and rewatch right before I watch SummerSlam. You had everything in this match. You had the back and forth. You had the high spots. You had the can she do this? The injury, the recalling of the injury to her hand when you had Sasha Banks wrapped up the heavily taped up hand of Bayley, exposing it and taking advantage of that. You had high spots. You had several good high spots. You had close call injuries. And, one false move and you're gonna be injured or lose your career. You had submission holds, reversals. You had Sasha Banks lock on that bank statement on a very injured, a crash and burnt Bayley, where Bayley tried to hit a couple of high spots, crashed and burnt. Sasha Banks tapped in that, or locked in that bank statement. We thought it was all over, even though Sasha Banks is a part of this women's revolution up on Raw on the main roster. We thought she was still gonna walk out your NXT women's champion, but no, Bayley reversed the bank statement and put Sasha Banks into the bank statement. It was so good. So many reversals. So much. Is this really going to happen? This match was so good. It brought the emotion that you want out of a match. It made you it made you think of simpler times. This match made you think of simpler times in wrestling. if you forgot that you were watching a WWE women's match. You probably thought you were watching like the Knockouts or women's wrestling back when it was Trish versus Lita, Trish versus like Mickie James versus Lita. Was that ever a thing, Mickie James versus Lita, or am I just shooting in the dark here? Let's look that up. But you get what I'm saying. The match was so good. It had everything that you wanted in a match. Where's Mickie James? Let's look. I'm just want to see if they actually did compete at the same time, because I thought Lita right before Mickie James got in there, but nope. All right. So this match here had everything that you want in a wrestling match. The emotion, the comeback stories, the amazing wrestling. And in this match, Sasha Banks became my new favorite women's wrestler wrestling today. It was Gail Kim down in TNA for the longest time, but Sasha Banks has become my new women. Well, it was a tie between Gail Kim and Naomi. Paige is a very, very good wrestler, but I know she's gonna be better in the future. She's like Paige right now is wine, and she's just gonna get better over time. But I think right now, Gail Kim and Naomi are the two best women wrestlers. Before I watch this match, and Sasha Banks has everything that you want in not only a women's wrestler, but a wrestler, period. And this match personified what I've been saying about WWE and its women's division for a long time now. The women's division needs to be treated as the cruiserweight division, and this match solidified what I've been saying. You would have thought you were watching cruiserweights or light heavyweights in this match, but you were watching women. This is what women's wrestling needs to start being, and I thank you, Stephanie McMahon, for this women's revolution. I want to thank the women down in NXT. I want to thank my mom for giving birth to me so I can do this review. I want to thank the Lord himself for putting me here in this position to do this review and letting me watch this match, because this match was amazing. This match is match of the year as of right now. We still have 4 or 5 months left in the year, or 4 months left in the year. 3 months actually, because we're about to end this month. 3 months left in the year, but this match right here, as of right now, as I'm breathing at this time, 6:02 August 22nd, 23rd, August 23rd, 2015, this is match of the year. Watch this match. Watch the whole pay-per-view card, but watch this match. This NXT is reminding me of TNA back in 2006, like the 2005, 2008, 9-ish era, back when it was just an hour-long show. And you got what you wanted out of that. You got your 3 matches, a storyline between the matches, and that was it. No extra filler and all that stuff. This is what NXT is reminding me of. This is why NXT is the #1 brand right now that you can watch. ROH is amazing. IWGP is amazing. TNA is still good, and WWE has been learning from their mistakes, and they're getting better. But NXT is the best wrestling product right now, and this match solidifies that. Whew. It's been 30 minutes. This match, I've been talking about this match a little bit longer than I wanted to, but just I've been talking about. Never mind, fuck it. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this review and you enjoy NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, please leave a like, comment down below what you liked about the card and what you didn't like about the card. Do you agree with me that Sasha Banks versus Bayley was match of the year, or do you think it was at least top 5 matches of the year? Remember, I'm not talking about women's wrestling, we're just talking strictly women's wrestling, because earlier this year we had Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, which was a great match. The women's Revolution matches have been really good. You had some great matches down in TNA as well when it comes to like the Dollhouse versus Gail Kim, Awesome Kong versus like I'm about to say Tiana Taylor. You know, their champion down there, I can't remember her name, the leader of the Dollhouse, but I still firmly believe this is match of the year. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Oh my god, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. I'm sorry. So if you guys agree with me on that, or what are your opinions on this card, period, let me know in the comment section below. Whew. If you want to follow me on anything other than YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, all linked in the description below. Get my Snapchat popping at Dakidrkstr. Also on Kick, Dakidrkstr. If you want to message me about anything or you have a subject for me that you want to review. With all of that being said, please remember to subscribe and share this video with their friends, with your friends, so they can get in on this discussion as well. Get ready for SummerSlam, guys. If you've already seen SummerSlam Matches review going up, please leave your thoughts on that down below, or go to my SummerSlam review, which will be up after that pay-per-view as well. But with all of that being said, I am the Average Gamer Shawn, and I am out of here.